I worked there till 2004, and I joined Contentra Technologies, erstwhile called as Planman Technologies, in 2004, and I'm still working with Contentra Technologies. It's been more than a decade now out here, and almost 15 years to be more precise. I am associated with this company. Yeah. So
It's been more than a decade of knowledge,
yeah,
and also done the
there has been several.
and also you have done the engineering and all those things at that time when it was very tough. Like होता था ना engineer बन गए तो अपने आप
Yes,
बहुत tough
yes.
होता था at
I
that
com-
time.
uh, there were great opportunities when I completed my software engineering. It was way back in 97 to 99 period. Yeah, in that time I completed my software engineering, and after that I got a chance to work with DPS Technologies India Private Limited, and so on. My career starts with there, and I am still still very much happy with this industry. So there has been several ups and downs, but life goes on like that already.
Yeah, and one thing which I would love to share means with the audience and also and everyone that emails जो लिखने का जो एक वो होता है, I learned from जितेंद्र सर. होता ये था कि एक बार जब नए बंदे आते हैं एकदम मेल भेज देते हैं, तो यू टॉट मी कि यार पहले ड्राफ्ट में डाल ले, सीख ले, पहले एक बार दो बार तू देखेगा तो कुछ कुछ करेक्ट करेगा. अब तो ग्रामरली वगैरह काफी चीजें आ गई हैं, बट एट दैट टाइम 10 years बैक ये दीज थिंग्स वर नॉट देयर. सो बट स्टिल इट्स इनटू माय हैबिट, और जो मैं औरों को भी बोलता हूँ कि यार एक बार ड्राफ्ट में डाल लो, देख लो, फिर सेंड कर देना. अब तो स्केड्यूलर आ गए एक साथ. At that time you can also send the emails, so things have been changed. So it's good, so first of all, like we want to know that like which all services Conterra Technologies are providing, and what we all young entrepreneurs and we the young the trainees, the joinees, the management trainee, the people who are into the business analyst, project management, or any developers, what sort of opportunity they can find.
Okay. First of all, I would like to tell our viewers that Gaurav used to be working with me. I think for 6 or 7 years back, Gaurav. Am I
2011,
correct?
2011, I came for that training. Yeah.
2011.
Yeah.
So it's almost a decade. Huh? Yeah. So Gaurav used to be a part of my team. He was a great talent to be in my team, and he always keep on learning and creating, trying to learn whatever new things came to his part. And he really did very exceptionally well throughout the projects that whatever has been assigned to him. And that's why he is out here. He has his own startup, and he's doing so good. Okay, so about my
it
company.
happened due to good manager. जब good manager होता है तो अपनी performance अपने आप आने लग जाती है.
Yeah, exactly. A good manager is really very much important for anyone's growth, and you definitely deserve that. You were taking initiative of yourself in this industry. The most important thing is initiative, which I think you were taking at that point of time. Yeah. Okay. Coming back to the Contentra Technologies. Let me give you a brief idea about our company. Contentra Technologies India Private Limited, formerly known as Planman Technologies India Private Limited, established in the year 2005, and I have been working with this company since its inception in 2005. Contentra Technologies adheres to a structured and methodical approach towards implementing a robust and effective quality management system and information security management system, ISMS. We have been accredited with ISMS and ISO. The latest version that we have been accredited for ISO is ISO 9001 2015 version, and for QMS we are certified with ISO 27001 2013 version. These two are very much important for this industry. These two certifications. Contentra Technologies, we have a great team of experienced and skilled resources who effectively implement our process-based management, operations management, and customer-centric service delivery model, which enables us to deliver specific business requirements to our global clientele in the best possible manner with a strong focus on the quality of deliverables and schedule adherence. About its operation, Contentra primarily operates in content transformation domain, including but not limited to digital libraries, content digitization, electronic publishing, and publishing services. Contentra provides high resolution scanning services, maybe microfilm scanning or paper source scanning, imaging, indexing, and archival services. Apart from this, we also work on content management, pre-media services, business process outsourcing, database management, web development, document management system, and several others. We have a trained full-time employees of around 200 in numbers who work on various projects to serve our domestic and international clients. Contentra majorly works with the international clients. Contentra has been a pioneer in delivering significant advantages through value-added services to its clients and partners through innovative services and flexible solutions. Contentra has extensive experience in scanning digitization domain with with a specialization in digitization of archival and both contemporary newspapers, books, journals, magazines, reports, etc. You'll be surprised to know that Contentra has digitized around 100 billion pages of books, newspapers, reports, journals, way back from 18th century onwards. Yeah, that was all about my company, Contentra Technologies.
A great brief. So, sir, there is a conversion solution into the Contentra technology, wherein they convert the newspapers into the mobile application, and also how this work. How big is this industry?
Yeah, I will begin this with a very good example. As I said, I started my career with DPS Technologies India Private Limited way back in 1999, and till 2004. At that point of time, we were digitizing the books or the scientific periodicals and journals of say 1980s, that century, 1980s. And when we came till 2004, we were digitizing the data from year 2002, 2003. So there was a big question mark among all the operators, the employees working in the team. Sir, what is going to happen after when we complete the data of current data, say of 2004? So I was also in a dilemma at that point of time, that what is going to happen once we complete all the data until 2004? What will happen? What next? And today we are sitting in 2021, and still there are so much of digitization available. So you can think about the amount of data that is still needs to be digitized.
Yeah. So it's an ongoing journey, digitalization. Yeah. So about the newspaper, like if we talk about due to this pandemic, there would be definitely so many the companies are there which are studying the previous data, like Swedish flu or swine flu and all. So all those data which is already in the previous newspaper, let's say 20 to 30 years back. So those newspapers, we are not definitely in a readable position right now. So you converting those into the readable format and also in a very good format so that people can read and do the research and those activities.
That's really a very good question, Gaurav. We all know that the latest method of providing information is through the internet. And the technological innovation has led people at last to gain information through the internet. So we all know that news taking place in present can be accessed very easily through the internet. Right. But it is really difficult to access to the news that has taken place in the past. That's why the concept of newspaper digitization comes in. So in order to access the news that has taken in past, the old newspaper needs to be digitized, and hence the term newspaper digitization. Newspaper digitization is a process of converting the old newspapers from analog form to digital images. The most common form of analog form of old newspapers were microfilms and physical papers, where see, let's suppose we have newspapers of say 18th century.
Mhm.
If we do not preserve those newspapers, then they would have perished by this time.
Right.
So what the big libraries did is that they put them into the microfilms.
Mhm.
Okay, after a certain period of time, they retained the physical newspapers for in the libraries for a certain period of time. So post, when the technology came, they started putting those newspapers on the microfilms.
Okay.
So they have been preserved in the microfilms, but only preservation is not going to help us to access those newspapers. So we need to digitize those preserved microfilms so that they are accessible. Fine. So basically, newspaper digitization is a process of converting old newspaper from analog to digital images. The most common forms of old newspapers are physical papers and microfilms.
Okay.
When we say newspaper digitization,
Mhm.
all these old newspaper needs to be scanned from the paper source or microfilms and converted it to a specific format, which is generally TIFF files. And once we have those scanned images ready with us, several other processes needs to be done so that they are made accessible over the internet.
Okay.
You know that the conventional form of reading has undergone change with the advent of digitization. The
Mhm.
process of digitization converts any analog content into binary codes,
Mhm.
which can be easily read by a computer. There is a huge demand for immediate access to news, which has led to the advent of digitization, which converts any language content into binary codes and can be easily read by a computer.
Right. So if we talk about like Kindle has totally transformed the industry. If we talk about the readers nowadays, students are means like keen to learn or read anything on the Kindle, but you are doing it from so many years, right? So basically, which technologies, if I talk about the software technology, which technologies are used during this conversion?
Okay. Let me speak about the newspapers first, and then I will come to ebooks and magazines and journals and all. For newspapers, see, basically the broader steps that is required to get the old newspaper accessible is first of all we need to do the scanning. So some good scanners are required. Scanners can be of microfilm scanners or can be of physical document scanners. So one of the technology that is required to first get the analog data converted to digitized in the digitized form, maybe a raw image file. But from that image file, you cannot extract any content or any text from that image file. So the second phase comes to extract text from those digitized images. So we need to have a software which can extract text from the image files. So the technology that we call it as is OCR, optical
Okay.
character recognition. So for OCR we have several softwares like Abby Fine Reader, Tesseract. The most commonly used OCR software is Abby Fine Reader, through which we can extract text from any content and any language. So first one is the technology through which you can scan the physical documents or microfilms so that we have the digitized image. The next comes the OCR technology. So for that you can use Abby Fine Reader, Tesseract, and all. The third one comes, you need to once you have extracted the text, you need to put that into some format which can be put on the internet so that everyone can access. So for that, the international libraries they used to they use the METS Alto. These are two different terminologies. These are basically two XML standards through which the library preserves all the digitized content onto their website and which can be accessed later. So companies in India who are into newspaper digitization, they are creating their own, they are having their own software through which they can carry out this OCR conversion as well as XML conversions. XML are basically METs and Alto.
Okay.
And once they have the complete thing done, they can put it over the internet for easy access to their for all of us.
Okay. So if we talk about the languages like HTML5, which sort of basic coding language are required to means like execute this?
Yeah, for newspaper, basically, see, a little bit of knowledge of HTML and XML is going to suffice the work.
Okay.
We don't require operators or employees who need to have in-depth knowledge of XML or HTML.
Okay.
A beginner, a fresher, to whom we can give a training of say 10 to 15 days is good to work on this project.
Okay.
Because the software does the work automatically by itself. So that's why specific sort of technicalities, technical knowledge is not required for carrying out this job. Yes, as I said, for microfilms scanning, some expert people are there who can do the microfilm scanning work. So for that, definitely a specific skill set is required.
Okay.
And but carrying out this entire process, any mediocre who is having say medium level of knowledge in HTML and XML can work on this project.
Okay. Okay. And another thing is like what we see the future of conversion this industry in the next 5 years. Like you talk about the last when 2004 and all, everything is going in a very good direction. Still, every time the scope is increasing, but still, as per you, what you see in the future in the next 5 years, that this industry will be at that level and these things can come up.
This again is a very good question, Gaurav. So the most important point here is work is changing a lot due to automation and AI, but it's not going away. Work is always there. Just give me let me give a small example. Let's suppose we have a machine, but that machine cannot work of itself. We require man to operate that machine.
Right.
Perfect. So machine can do more, but there is always more to do. The question is, can a machine be created by itself? No, we require manpower for that. Can a machine be marketed itself? No. Can we sell that machine itself? No. Can we deliver it? No. Can we can the machine be feeded by itself? No. Can we clean the medicine, clean the machines? No. Can we fix if there is any problem automatically? No. We require manpower to get this entire thing done. So machine are tools, and tools needs to be used. And who is going to use those tools? We the people. So you can imagine the future of conversion technology. So we might be having several technology coming in, but at the but the end thing is that we definitely require manpower to use those machines and technology. With regards to our data conversion process, unorganized data is converted into a more suitable and easy to use format. The entire purpose of data conversion services is to maintain all the data so that proper information can be extracted from those data.
Okay.
The wide range of services offered by data conversion services vendors include HTML conversion, XML conversion, document conversion, media format conversion, OCR services, and many others. The data conversion services helps an organization to convert large volume of unstructured data to an easy retrieval format. These softwares use advanced data conversion techniques to convert business data with high accuracy and minimum data loss, which can be utilized for business intelligence purpose. So there is a huge demand in this data conversion. In this data conversion.
Okay, that's good to know. And definitely, you are there, so definitely there would be demand because you are an engineer and you love to do different things, and everything has been scaling. So it's good to know. Other than that, like there would be the young students would be there who would like to know that which all opportunities would be coming up in future if they want to try in the content for the training and interns, so they would be connecting with you. Hope that won't be a problem.
Yeah, definitely. That is not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
We they can get in touch with me, and as soon see there are requirements coming up in several interval of times, as and when we have more inflow of job, we hire interns, we train them, and we put them on the live job depending on the requirements.
Right, great. And also, I want the live audience that if they have any questions, they can start putting before we move to the last question. They can drop the question in the chat window. So, sir, last we are moving to the last question, which is related to the freelancing platforms. There has been a lot freelancing platform which are performing very good. If we talk about Fiverr, Upwork, they all are doing so good business in terms of freelancing and providing the opportunities. We also have initiated something in this sector with FlexiWorky, which is right now we have onboarded already like more than 50 corporates, and we are trying to understand their requirement and share it with agencies or the freelancer. So there is a every time a different perspective when a corporate is sharing a requirement. Sometimes they need an independent freelancer, sometimes they need a complete agency to do the job, depending on the type of the job. So do you think that this industry, the conversion industry, the publishing sector would have the opportunities to share on the freelancing platforms in the upcoming future, or it is more sort of a on in which there is less freelancing opportunity?
Yeah, Gaurav. I would say this is a great initiative taken by you and your team and your team FlexiWorky. So there is a huge demand going to come up in the coming years. I would rather say in this particular decade, where we would be requiring several freelancers to work. With this post-COVID situation, majority of companies, they are not hiring permanent employees. They are going to hire freelancers because it is much more cost effective compared to hiring an employee and paying them their regular salary despite not having sufficient job at any point of time. It is always good to have freelancers working for us. I will share one experience.
Yeah, please.
Last couple of years back, we were working for a client where we need to convert content which were written in Arabic language.
Okay.
And we hardly had any employee who was knowing Arabic, who can write or read Arabic in
It's
our team.
R2L. Right.
Yeah. So initially, we had to hire few of the employees so that we can carry out the initial sampling process and all. Later we realized that we cannot hire so many people on board for carrying out this particular project because we were not very much sure about the volume projection and the tenure of the project. So we tried exploring opportunities for freelancing, and you will be surprised to know that we hired several vendors through Upwork.
Okay.
And there is a huge supply of freelancers available on Upwork to be hired, and who can work according to us. Let's suppose I have an inflow of let's suppose today I am having an inflow of 1,000 pages. So based on that, let's suppose I need 10 people or 20 people. I will not hire those 20 people. Rather, I will go to Upwork. I will look for good freelancers and will give them samples to work on, and like that the process goes on. So you will be surprised to know that there has been a new research carried out by this freelance platform Upwork, freelancers are likely to find themselves in more demand in the future, with 47% of hiring managers more likely to hire independent professionals since this current COVID-19 crisis. For freelancers looking for work, marketing themselves independently may be a better route than going through staffing firms based on the survey results.
Mhm.
That's all.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like even if I talk about my experience in the last 10 years, if 2010 it was more sort of a employee friendly nature in the IT industry. But in coming back to 2020, especially during the COVID, yes, you are right. There are most of the opportunities which we start doing the freelance to different sectors. It could be a different opportunity. It could be a designing simple one skill. If a person knows of one skill, then also he's earning a lot nowadays in freelancing, and that has changed the trend and the industry. Yeah.
So this is really a great initiative by you, Gaurav and Ishi and team FlexiWorky, where you are giving opportunities to all the freshers who can come up and look for the job in their field.
Yeah.
They can be associated with the companies also. As and when there are requirements, we can connect with them and provide some opportunities to them.
One question I have received in the chat, my chat. They want to know what is EPUB.
Yeah. So the full form is basically electronic publishing. See, let's suppose I am having this physical ebook. Let's suppose this is a book. So this is physical. So in case I want to read, I need to flip the pages and read through. Let's suppose I am traveling and I want to read this book and I'm sitting in a crowded place. If I get this book converted to electronic format, I can access it with the ease from anywhere, sitting on any place, open it on my mobile through any of the ebook application through which we can open this book and read it. So that's the benefit of EPUB. We don't have to carry the physical book with us. We only simply need to carry our mobile phone or laptop with us, and as many books as you have, you can read through it.
One question Virat has shared: how your team decide that which news needs to be digitalized?
It's 12 hours.
How your team?
Sorry, can you please come up?
Yeah, how your team decides that which news needs to be digitalized?
No, see, this is not a choice. It's basically from our clients. They have preserved all the past newspapers with themselves, and now they want to digitize everything, all the newspapers that they are having from 18th century, 19th century, whatever newspapers they are having. So it's not basically a choice that which newspaper needs to be digitized. Everything available in physical format, maybe in paper source or maybe in microfilms, they all needs to be digitized so that everything is over the net. So that's so it's not that I need to digitize this particular news, I need to digitize that particular news. It's everything.
Okay, so when we are doing like for a paper, if there are 25 news, there are few advertisements, so we can ignore them during digitalization, or we need to do everything.
Yeah, it depends on the client's requirement. There are several clients who wants the articles to be also captured.
Okay.
There are several clients who don't want to capture the advertisements. The reason behind this is that those old advertisements may not be of any use in the current scenario. That's why some clients, they don't want to digitize those advertisements. But yes, there are clients who also wants to have those advertisements to be digitized.
Got it. One more question from Neha Jain: how you personalize any individual news?
So this is something related to media monitoring services.
Okay.
So again, this is a different domain from our content conversion. See, basically, what there are media houses. Let's suppose on a particular day there are 10 particular news. Okay, and those media houses gets some information from their clients that they want to highlight this particular news. So news will be highlighted first, and that will be shown to the users rapidly. So it depends on those media monitoring houses.
Okay. So I think that's it from like we are also running out of a crucial time. Ishi has shared a message. Great idea of digitalizing old news. Yes, that's what Jiten sir is doing from for his company from long time. And I know that whomever you would be mentoring, they would be doing great job because you have been a very great like manager, and the way you like every time whenever I have engaged with you, you have always a good thoughts about any organization, and that's how like means a person is very important for any company, and you are doing a great job, sir, and very great insights you have shared with us. I think it would be very helpful for everyone. For me, it is definitely very helpful.
Yeah, it is always good to see with someone with whom you are working has grown up like you. So it's really very glad moment for me that Gaurav is interviewing me today. I'm really very much happy for you, Gaurav, and the initiatives that you have been taking on these days is really very much appreciated.
Thank you so much, sir. And we are very happy. I have received some messages that it was a great session. So thank you so much once again, sir, for your time and for sharing your insight. Anything which you would like to say to everyone, especially the interns? The interns audience is also very huge. Like they have just started their career. Any advice for them, like what they should do in their career to avoid any like mistakes which generally happens with the interns?
Okay, I follow a very simple mantra to be successful in my life. That is, I believe in karma. Okay, so karma is basically uh, these are the result of a person's actions as well as the actions themselves. It
Mhm.
is a cycle. So the way whatever you do, that is going to come back to you. So believe in your karma, do your best, and definitely good is going to come to you. Uh, there is a very good statement that I used to follow. Grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference between these.
Awesome.
So accordingly, everyone can adopt this and get success in their life.
Coincidentally, I also follow this, but we never know. Yeah, we also this follow. I also believe in the same ideology of karma. Keep doing good things. Just do one thing, 1x, and returns comes into 100x. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And one last message before leaving, Yashasvi has said this has been so informative and really good session into digital publishing world. So thank you, Yashasvi, for your feedback. Thanks, sir, for your time, for your precious time.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Gaurav and Team Flexi, for giving me this opportunity to speak about my experiences. It was really very much good. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Have a good day, sir.
Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye.